we are working on another dress. And it's not because that's the only thing I know how to make. Trust me, I do know how to make other stuff. But dresses take up the majority of my closet, and they're really, really cute. And when I'm making a dress, they actually eat up more of the fabric. So that's why I'm making them. For this project, we are working with some older fabric. These were, again, this is another sheet dress. Yes, it's floral. Yes, this is from the same stash that was under my childhood sink, in my bathroom, in my old room. But at least it's a little bit bigger and it's not as saturated in colors. But these have been sitting there forever, and if any of my sisters watch this, you'll probably recognize these sheets and go, ugh. But they're a little faded, but I kind of want that. So the idea is going to be to make a Golden Girls theme era dress, if that makes sense. I've been obsessed with Golden Girls since I was a child. It's my sister's fault. She watched it a lot when I was a kid, and it just kind of stuck in my head. And then as an adult, I went and rewatched it, and I'm a huge Betty White fan, and B. Arthur brings me so much joy. And I've been obsessed with Rue McLaren since I was itty bitty, and I just love Estelle Getty as well. So I've been obsessed with them for a long time, but I've never had a 80s Golden Girl dress, if that makes sense. I've never had anything in my closet that if I was invited to a Golden Girls party, I would say, oh yeah, this. Plus, my inner old lady really, really wants an old lady dress. So we are going to appease her and appease my need to get rid of stuff out of my fabric stash, and we're making a Golden Girls themed-ish dress. We're gonna go with the very easy Vogue pattern, which is VP940 for those of you who wanna go and get it. It's not a whole lot of pieces. I really love this pattern. I've used it once. I don't remember what for, but when I opened it, I've definitely used it. So this should be cake. Should be. The nice thing about this pattern is that it's an easy fit. So there's actually bodice front pieces for different cup sizes. So you can kind of bring that down and bring it out a little bit as you need. For instance, I am a bra size that my brain can't remember at the moment, but I'm on the larger end of the scale, so it's easier for me with this to see, okay, this is how, with this size they went up in these areas, with this size they went up in these areas. So I could either draft my own, which I'm not going to. I'm just going to use the D cup ones. So that's the 4, 8, 11, 12, 10, and 9. So that's only 6 pattern pieces, which sounds like a lot, but I promise you it's not, and it's not that bad. So we're going to make this. My goal for today, I have errands to run. When I come back, I want to have everything cut out so that I can just start sewing. Lovely thing about this fabric is that it's already been washed multiple times, and I have the top sheet, the fitted sheet, as well as 1 pillowcase, maybe 2. I think the second one wandered off, but I have plenty of fabric. So if I want to make this a really, really big skirt, I can. And I don't know if I will or not, but it'll be cute. So we're gonna run some errands. I'm going to cut all this out, and then we will probably start sewing sometime this week. I don't have another day off this week, so I'll just be sewing in the afternoons probably. So we will see how this goes. Let's get started. to. Everything is cut out, and unfortunately I have a lot of extra. So I'll probably use this for jacket lining or dress lining or lining, or maybe just make some book sleeves or something. I don't know. Either way, the end goal is still going to be the same. At least I made a dent in something. But let me tell you, using a queen size sheet, top sheet, it's a lot of fabric. So I have the lining, I have the skirt, I have the long sleeve shirt. I try to use as much of it as possible, but I still have tons. So the goal today is to get it sewn, pressed, and done. Let's get started. So far, everything seems pretty standard as far as the directions go. Got a couple of spots where you stay stitch, and then it's stitching the front to the front side, stitch the back to the back side, stitch the front to the back, work on the skirt, sew the skirt, gather the skirt, stitch the skirt to the top, prep for the zipper, and then do the lining facings and finishings. And then I add a hook and eye. I love how there's this whole other page, and I only need that one square. So really, all the instructions are just one page. And the only piece of advice I have thus far is to make sure that all of your markings are transferred, because since this is meant to fit and be fitted, you really gotta watch where everything is supposed to be stitched, especially with curves on the back and curves on the front. I have my notions all pricked out. I have my 2 pieces of elastic for the armbands. I have my hook and eyes, which you can't see because they're very small. I don't know if you can see that. So very small, white hook and eyes just for the top, which makes dressing oneself easier. So I can just hook and eye that, grab the bottom, and, you know, do that weird, awkward stretch they made you do in gym class to see if you were flexible. And I could have gone with a white zipper, but I don't feel like being boring. I'm gonna go with purple because there's a lot of purple in this dress anyway, and I don't know when I'm ever gonna use this specific shade. So, zipper is done too. Okay, I'm gonna try to stop putting this off. Let's start with the bodice, and I'm going to press everything and make sure the front fits. That way if I need to adjust anything, A, I have lots of extra fabric, B, I can make sure the lining is adjusted in the right place as well. So let's start with that. And then we'll do the skirt. The skirt is a skirt. It is a skirt. It's gonna be gathered, so that's not terrible, I guess. And then I think the hardest part is gonna be matching the zipper on both sides of the back of the bodice. And then the sleeve. And the sleeve is not gonna be near as hard as on my other projects. All right, let's go. I think we're in good shape. Hang on. So far, let's see. I just looked at it in a mirror and I have just enough to be comfortable. Neckline is good. Nothing feels weird. Now, in true me fashion, I want to make sure the whole thing fits, so I'm actually going to stitch the lining to the bodice lining to make sure that everything is seamless together, if that makes sense. It was going to have me do the lining after I started the skirt, but I don't want to do that. I might go ahead and add the sleeves as well, just in case. Do I make this even harder and stitch the sleeves? I might stitch the sleeves to the outside of this first. That way whenever I take the lining, I can stitch it to the neckline, turn it inside out, press, make sure everything's correct, and then all I have to do is turn down this seam on the inside and just whip stitch around the armhole instead of doing it the way it wanted me to do it in the pattern, where I just stitch everything together and then just like leaving the raw edges, which I don't want to do. So I might do that instead. Let's go ahead and add these sleeves real quick. It's done, and it's fabulous so far. It's definitely, I think, giving 90s more than 80s, but let's try it on and see what we think, okay? 1 sec. All right, final test. See if it zips. And if I'm flexible enough to do this last part. Oh. We are in, but the hair is not helping. 1 sec. Okay, I am now officially properly dizzy, and let's see. Oh yes, maybe maybe a couple bobby pins in the back. You cannot see how insane this is. One second. It is definitely giving like Laura Ashley, and it's everything I could have wanted. And it's not a huge skirt. It's not, you know, a million yards. It's very simple. It hits like right at my feet. So if I wear some like cute sandals or heels or something, this neckline is actually quite comfortable. Nothing feels tight. Nothing feels bad. Let's do a quick twirl. 1 second. Let's see. All right. Other than being dizzy now, it does not twirl. It is not a twirling dress. Hold on, let me sit down. We are properly sat now. This feels amazing. I feel like I could frolic in a field or go back in time and visit a mall in ye old 90s or 80s. I can't tell with this dress. I even watched Golden Girls a little bit earlier today, and there were so many more brighter colors, which this is pretty bright, but it's not the neon kind of colors of the 80s. It feels more 90s. The silhouette is definitely more 90s, so sadly I didn't get my 80s wish. Like, it's giving more like watercolor kind of look, and it's really not. It's actually much brighter. Like, the colors, granted these are also 90s sheets, so on the one hand I made a significant divot in my stash, but I still wound up having so much left over, so I don't know if I would consider this a total fail, or if I consider this a total win, because frankly the dress is gorgeous and I feel so good in it. Like, I feel like I could go berry picking or orchard apple picking, I don't know, or going to a farmer's market or something. It's very cute. Final thoughts. I actually quite enjoyed this pattern. It fits very well. It could be the pattern was drafted in a way that fits my body. I don't feel anything is tight. I don't feel anything is, you know, kind of pulling weird. I actually had a better time with the zipper in this one than I did the others. I think the only part of this that was a little strange for me to work with were the sleeves, because it didn't have me gather in the normal places. It had me gather higher up, hence this little puffy moment here, which I was going for more 80s. I did not end up putting pads in this, but I feel like if I did add like a pad in this all the way out to there, it would 80s this so quickly. But it's falling into that more whimsical cottagecore 90s, which is so not my vibe. I am not a cottagecore girly at all. But honestly, like, I'm sitting here in this and it doesn't feel like sheets. It doesn't read as sheets. It reads as kind of a, cringe to say it, it reads as a cottagecore dress that I got online. It's got that silhouette that everyone is currently wearing, which is the more puffy, kind of not quite bishop sleeve, but bishopy, flowy sleeve look with a tight fitted bodice. And I mean, honestly, I'm kind of in love with this. I think this is something that would be very easy to wear out if my husband and I go on a date, if we're going to the movies, if we're going anywhere. I feel like I could wear this out without feeling like I'm wearing something I've made, you know? I try to wear as many of my garments I've made as possible, but sometimes that is just way too hard, because I know I've made it, and I know what's wrong with the dress, and I know what's wrong with the piece that I've made, and it's hard to wear it out and not say, oh yes, I made this. You see this flaw? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just self-conscious. Things I would change about this. I think the hem is a little too long. I will more than likely wear this with my favorite platform sandals or like a heel, just to make it a little dressier and a little cute. But I mean, it's probably about 2 inches too long, and I could easily remedy that, but it is the end of the night and the project is basically done, so I don't want to revisit that. Honestly though, it's very, very nice. anything I did different, I changed up how I did the order of things because it didn't make sense for me to make everything and then stitch in the lining and I just, no. So I did do the front shells, stitch all of the lining together, and then I added the sleeves and then stitched the lining to it so that I had everything ready to go. And the most important thing I did was actually turn down the inner facing of the lining in here. I just turned down where the armhole is and just stitched it all the way around the armhole so that everything is down. I don't have any raw seams here in my arms because this is where I wear the most because you don't know, I gesture quite a lot. So my arms get a lot of action. I would like to add something to this. I feel like it means something, but at the same time, I feel like it's enough and I feel like I'm kind of done and that I can move on to my next project, which I'm really excited to do. And I don't know what else I could change about it. I'm looking at my trims over here in my drawer and I'm like, yeah, I could add some velvet or I could add, you know, like a little bit of beading here, but it's so simple and it's so loud as a piece on its own that I don't think it means anything. I really don't, which is shocking. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you would like to be alerted whenever I come up with my next video, please subscribe and click the bell so that you can be alerted whenever I come up with my next video. My next one is going to be Disney themed, if that entices you to come back. If you have any comments, concerns, questions for me, advice for other people, kind word of encouragement to someone else, please drop it down below. I really enjoy seeing y'all's comments, even whenever they're something, you know, critiquing. It helps me because then I can take on more critique and I can take on more of that without feeling like I'm being judged. And you guys have been so kind and so sweet about gently explaining things that I get wrong, and that's so amazing to me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, week, weekend, whatever you're currently dealing with, and I hope I see you guys in my next video. Bye! I'm not gonna deny that this dress is super fabulous. And look at that, I even did a purple zipper in the back. I don't know if you can see that, it's purple. Because I need to use all these zippers up and purple works with the outfit. Maybe that's what I need, a purple or like a hot pink belt right here just to cinch that waist in more than it is. But God, look at that. Look at those nice lines. I love it. I love it.